Great. So, guys, once again, thanks for your patience and thanks for joining myself and Mike tonight. To kind of cover this webinar, it's going to be a how-to and a kind of introduction to pay-per-call marketing. It's something that I'm relatively new to. I think it's been around for quite a while, but it still seems relatively new to the industry. And we're lucky enough to have my good friend Mike from ringpartner.com, a pay-per-call network. He's in a very experienced in this niche and vertical. He's got 6 or 7 years experience in performance marketing. He runs the pay-per-call network, and like I say, he's basically going to hold our hands and kind of walk us through how we can get started with pay-per-call. It's going to run for roughly sort of 20 to 30 minutes. Mike's prepared some really cool slides, some really good information to share with you. And basically, if you've got any questions during the webinar, feel free to type them into the Q&A. Mike's given me his permission to stop in mid-flow and kind of ask them, but I'll ask them if they're relevant. If not, I'll kind of save them, because basically what we're going to do is 25 to 30 minutes on getting started in pay-per-call. There's going to be some really rich and great content in there, so get a notepad, get a pen, make sure you make some notes if you've got any questions. And then after we've done that, we're going to stop and we're going to do a Q&A with you. So if anyone's got any sort of questions, write them down or type them in the Q&A box on the right-hand side of your call, and we'll make sure we get to them after the call. Touch wood, my net holds up and I'll still be here. But Mike, if I can hand over to you, thanks for your time. Thanks for sparing this, guys. It's going to be a great webinar, and let's kick this show on the road.
Great. Thanks a lot, Oliver. I'd just like to start out by thanking Oliver and the Affiliate Fix team for having us here today to present to you guys the opportunity that is pay-per-call. And hopefully what we can cover today is sort of an intro to pay-per-call, how to get started, and sort of assess what the opportunity is. Most affiliates are pretty smart people, and so if we can present them with the opportunity, they can really take this and run with it. And as Oliver said, it is relatively new. Pay-per-call's been around for a long time. It's just being talked about a lot more in the last, say, 3 to 5 years. So with that, I'll get down to it, and we'll get started. So just a quick rundown about Ring Partner. I won't talk too much about it, but we are based in Victoria, BC, which is actually in Canada, which is a sleepy little town on an island just nearby Vancouver and Seattle. We're experienced marketers. Myself, Ryan Gerhardt, Todd Dunlop, are founders of the company. We've all worked in the affiliate marketing performance space for about the last 6 to 7 years. We're 100% pay-per-call focused, which means we're committed to making pay-per-call work. Everything that we do is about driving the call, getting people to connect and have a conversation, and hopefully create some sales and generate profits for publishers and advertisers. We are a performance marketing company, so everything we do is around generating leads and driving results. So that's a very important thing to us as a company. And you may be wondering why pay-per-call, and probably a better question is why now. But the big thing is that pay-per-call is now truly viable across more platforms. And what's really driving that is mobile smartphone growth. I think everybody's seeing it. It doesn't matter where you are or who you are. My kids have phones. They're 11 and 9, and my parents also have phones, and your grandparents have phones. And a lot of them have smartphones, and so everybody's got the capabilities to browse a web page now and click to call and connect with an advertiser or connect with someone that has a service or product that they're looking for. And so it's that click to call integration that's really driving driving pay-per-call and the growth, and why more and more people are talking about it. And it's mobile search that's really the big driver of it. And largely that's due to the click-to-call integration on Google AdWords and Bing, where you can actually click right from the search results and connect directly to the advertiser rather than hitting a landing page and creating a step in between. And so this is what's really driving the growth of pay-per-call and why you're seeing more of it now and why more and more people are talking about it. Of course, it's not the only traffic source, and what it actually does is open up the discussion for other opportunities. And we like to think of pay-per-call as mobile lead gen. You know, a lot of companies have spent a lot of time trying to figure out how can we get people to fill out a form online. And if you're just going to call those people back, why bother, you know, having a mobile lead gen at all? And why not just, you know, directly connect them to the call and have someone at a call center speak with them right away? And so what all this is doing is really increasing awareness about pay-per-call. And so what we see is more and more interest in the pay-per-call vertical, and then people expanding out from there. So when we first started, a lot of publishers were running mobile search. It was a great place to start. Then we see guys trying mobile display. We see guys, you know, doing PPV, putting it on, you know, in a newspaper ad, Craigslist ad, potentially on a car that's, you know, driving around in a big city. You know, there's a lot of different opportunities with these pay-per-call tracking numbers. You can basically take them and place them almost anywhere. And if a call comes in, it's tracked for a certain duration, and you'll get paid out for those calls. So that's a big reason why, you know, why you're hearing more and more about pay-per-call is that mobile growth, and then just that leading into people thinking more about it and creating more opportunities from there. So what's really different about pay-per-call? There's a few key differences, and one of the things to remember is that pay-per-call itself is more of a conversion type than anything else. It's not a traffic source. It's not necessarily a vertical, but it's a conversion. So it's, you know, it's like CPI, CPA. It doesn't matter if you're doing installs or downloads or acquisition or sale or lead gen. It's a conversion type, which is pay-per-call. So what we see with pay-per-call that's different is that we have real-time transactions. You've got a person who's live on the phone, on their mobile phone or on their home phone, connecting with a live operator in a call center, or potentially to, you know, a sales agent at a different company, or it's connecting to a, you know, say a self-storage local business in their area. So they're real-time transaction that requires two people to connect, make a connection, and hopefully make a sale. Another big difference is that we see duration used as conversion. It's definitely not the best way to track calls and track quality, but it is the current method that's most popular. So we see a lot of campaigns convert after about 1 to 3 minutes, and sometimes there's key presses involved. But I'll talk about that a little bit more. But that's a big difference versus what you're used to, you know, on a pixel conversion or a lead gen conversion or potentially a rev share or a sale. Regional targeting is big, so, you know, usually we look for campaigns that are on a national level just because it scales better for publishers, but in some cases there are region targets where you've got to target a certain zip code or area code or cities, specific states, and so that's something that definitely comes up and something that publishers want to be aware of when they're running a pay-per-call campaign. And call center hours, like I said, we've got real-time transactions occurring here. We've got someone in a seat at a call center, and those call centers don't always run 24/7. Ideally they would, but in some cases they're running 9 to 5, and time zones matter as well. So it might be 9 to 5 Eastern, but you're in Pacific, so you need to make sure that you're day parting correctly. So these are some things you really want to keep in mind with pay-per-call and what's different. I'm going to go into a little bit about choosing your first campaign, and then what I'll actually do is go into our Invoca platform and give you a quick look at, you know, what you're going to be looking for at a campaign and what's important to compare. So obviously payout, I think this is where every publisher starts. What's it going to pay out? And in most cases, our campaigns pay out based on a fixed rate, but there are cases where it could pay out on a percentage of sale, or it could be paid out on a per qualified call. And what that means is that it's actually a bundled campaign, and we've got multiple buyers on the back end. So they pay out at various rates based on various durations. And so what you want to do in those cases is ask a little bit more from your affiliate manager to make sure that you know exactly how that offer converts. Conversion duration, you definitely want to check this out. Like I said, Most campaigns are 1 to 3 minutes. Anything under that doesn't seem to end up working out long term for the advertisers. Anything over that seems too long for the publishers. So usually they do convert somewhere in that range, and then we try to figure out a CPA goal that will work for both the advertiser and the publisher. Key presses. So campaigns can be qualified by a key press. So if you're looking at a campaign and it pays out $20 on 2 minutes, you want to make sure that does it pay out on key press 1 or key press 2 or one or the other. It could pay a different rate based on those key presses. So you really want to check that information, and then it's really good to test the offer. Ask your affiliate manager, what's happening with this offer? How can I make sure that I send more calls that convert better because they'll press key 1? And usually, with most offers that convert on a key press, they're usually asking things like, is this are you a new customer, or are you calling for customer support, or do you want sales or support or customer service? And so key 1 would go to sales. That would be a new lead, new potential sale, and key 2 would be customer support related issues where the company couldn't make any money on that. So that's something to really keep in mind. Hours of operation, as I said, these call centers aren't open 24/7 all the time, so it's something that you definitely want to take note of and make sure that it's open enough hours that you can scale your campaign, but also make sure that you've got your day parting set correctly to ensure that you're going to hit the call center at the correct time. So once you've logged in, working with RingPartner, when you first log into the system, what you'll see is Switchboard, which is our front-end system. But almost every network in the space is using Invoca, which is pretty commonplace. They do a pretty good job of providing solid tracking and some of the features that you'll need to be successful with a campaign. So what I'll do is I'll go through a couple of these just to show you the difference between each campaign. But as you come in and take a look at which campaigns you want to run, you'll see the campaigns that you're approved on. If you want to apply to new campaigns, you need to press this Apply to New Campaigns button. And then that will take you to a whole number of different campaigns that you want to check out. And so if we just click on something like this Live Links campaign, we can go in and see some of the information. So each of the campaigns will have a description, some promotion guidelines, some ideas for targeting, and a potential example landing page. And we'll talk about landing pages a little later. But what you really want to do, again, is check out the promotion methods as you move down. So make sure that the promotion method you have in mind is an approved method. If you've got something that's different and unique, definitely ask, and we'll try to help you out. But each campaign on Invoca, they do this kind of awkward show all. So right now, you look at this, you see a lot of X's. It doesn't look like there's a lot of ways you can promote this campaign. But if you click the show all button, you can actually see, okay, it does allow display and email, social media, and some other options there. And so sometimes they'll have a little note here, search, there's no branded search allowed. So you want to take note of those promotion types, but this funny little button here is kind of awkward, and you definitely want to click that because immediately you look at that and think you can't do anything with it. So definitely check that. As you scroll down, you'll see the overview. What category, you can check out the landing page. Is it expiring soon, which is definitely something you want to look at. Check the expiry date because it may be expiring soon, and you don't want to set up a campaign and not have it be a long-term campaign. Web integration, I won't go into too much detail there, but what this means is the advertiser has integrated their page to allow for you to send traffic to their homepage and pre-pop a tracking phone number that will give you credit for any of the calls that come through that. So you could potentially promote the Live Links page and have your phone number show up on there and get credit. I know in the past with a lot of publishers, especially guys running email traffic, they always wanted you to remove the phone number from the landing page, but in this case what we can do is actually send traffic through to those branded pages and have a tracking phone number pre-popped onto that page so you can get credit for that as well. And just scrolling down a little further, we can see the payout, the publisher payout. So this one pays out $1.70 per call if the connect duration is greater than 2 minutes and it's during hours in region. And so what that means is that the connect duration actually means when it connects with the advertiser. So if there's an IVR in place, and I'll talk a little bit more about IVRs, but essentially it's the recording that happens when it asks, one, for sales, two, for customer service. But the connect duration occurs after the IVR and when it actually connects with the advertiser. So you could have about 15 seconds of call time within that IVR, and then when it actually connects with the advertiser, that's when the clock starts. And then it converts after 2 minutes. So if you get a call that's exactly 2 minutes, it's not going to count as a conversion. You need that call to last 2 minutes and 1 second. So it needs to go over the 2-minute threshold. And then during hours, you want to check and make sure that you've got these hours targeted in your campaign, and definitely take note of the time zone, because if your campaign or your Google AdWords campaign or your network where you're buying traffic is set up in Eastern time or some other time zone, and you set the hours correctly but you don't set the time zone correctly, you're not going to get paid out for the calls that come in outside of the area, or sorry, outside of the time zone. And then the region, you want to make note of that as well. This one's pretty simple. It's all US and Canada. And currently Invoca supports all US and Canada traffic and only US and Canada traffic. Anything outside of that, they don't have coverage for it. There's just a lot of technology issues with different telecom in different countries. So hopefully that's something that will expand soon. I know they've tried the UK, but I hope to see some more coverage there. But you definitely want to take note of that. Some other campaigns may show a zip code or a region location or a list of states or cities that you can target with your campaign. Most campaigns don't allow for repeat callers, and this one's extremely long, which is they don't pay out for callers that are repeats after 90 days. Typically it's about 30 days, which is the standard. So, and then if you want to apply to this campaign, you would click that you agree to the terms, and you would say how you're going to promote that campaign and hopefully provide some specific details and click apply. And then you check back later and get some more information to the campaign. And once you are approved on the campaign, you'll be able to go in to these promo numbers and grab a specific tracking number. So once you're in here, you can just click the add promo number, and then you can choose, this isn't absolutely imperative, but you can choose the different media type, and then you could put in your campaign. You could put in like a name of your campaign, and you can put the ad group, something like that. And then you know that when you take this phone number, this is now your tracking phone number, you can take that and place that on your landing page or in your Google call extension. And then everything that comes in under this number that lasts over the set duration in the regions and during the hours, you'll get paid for. So it's fairly simple that way. We're just dealing with tracking numbers versus tracking links. And if you're more familiar with links and you want to try that as well, you can click the Get Link button. Hopefully you can see that, and then your link is here. I'm not going to go into too much detail there. We don't see a lot of publishers using this technique. But it is something that I think more and more publishers will want to use. But if you're going to do this, you're going to want to get into ring pools, and that's a little more advanced. But that ring pools do allow you to get the granular statistics that you really want on a campaign, so you can find out the keywords, the click ID, the placements, the banners, that sort of stuff. So yeah, so that's basically sort of looking at a campaign and how to get started. These other tabs show some of the creative, so some of the banners that you can use, and it's kind of cool because you can take a banner and actually customize it with your number. So you can just pre-pop that phone number in there, and then you'll be able to take this banner. We can preview it here, and you can see that now we've pre-popped that phone number onto the landing page. Or sorry, onto the banner. So there's some cool features in here. To be honest, we don't see a lot of publishers doing this, but I think that if more of them knew about this or knew about the possibilities, we would see a lot more of them doing it. But usually what they'll do is they'll grab a promo number, take that tracking phone number and place it wherever they like. And then this advanced links tab is more about ring pools, which I'm not going to get into right now, but that's definitely something that's a little more advanced, but when you get smart with this stuff and you really want to track, a lot of clicks coming into your landing page, you're going to want to get some ring pools. So that's kind of the basics of choosing a campaign. Location and region targeting is important, which I did cover. So we'll just move on. And approved promotion types as well. So like I said, you want to click that show all button and make sure that your method is approved. And feel free to ask us if you don't see it there, and we'll see if we can get it approved, or if we can do a trial to try some of the unique promotion types that publishers have. So some top campaigns that are currently working in pay-per-call. I'm sure that a lot of people have heard about tech support. It's working really well on PPV traffic, and it's something that we're seeing a lot of growth in. We're just very cautious with making sure that publishers are compliant with these pages. We don't want to be too aggressive. We don't want to scare callers, and mostly, that stuff doesn't work out for advertisers in the long run. There's a lot of refunds and chargebacks, so we do want to make sure that we're promoting this correctly for long-term success. We've got some pretty good buyers in there that are pretty happy with our traffic, and so we're just looking for more good publishers to drive calls. That's what's really driving pay-per-call on PPV is tech support, and that is a desktop-based campaign as well. So it can definitely work on desktop. Legal has been a really strong vertical as well. And one of the best ways to promote that is on search. And there's a couple different ways to approach a legal campaign. Our IVR covers a lot of different areas. So it runs through DUI, divorce, criminal defense, personal injury, specific personal injury issues. And so it covers a lot of different things. And what we're seeing is that publishers are going out and they'll just promote something like, find a lawyer New York, find a lawyer Los Angeles, or they'll promote zip codes or specific cities or counties, and they'll just tack that on to a very small search that's quite generic. And then what happens is those calls come in, the IVR does its job by sorting out and sending that to the correct buyer, and then we're seeing some pretty good success with legal campaigns. You can be more specific, and personal injury is definitely a strong category. But we're seeing a lot of success on search, mobile search, and desktop with some more generic terms, and then letting the IVR sort that out. And again, I'll talk a little bit more about IVRs shortly, so that you can get a good understanding of what I mean by an IVR. Payday loan, payday relief through search has been a pretty good campaign for us. And the nice thing about this is that as a publisher, you can really promote this in a vertical. You can operate in the payday vertical, whether it's loan or relief, and again, let the IVR sort this out. So callers will call up, and the first question we ask them is, do you have one or more payday loans? And then we can send them to a payday loan relief instead of payday loan for actually getting a loan. So you've got a chance to monetize both types of callers that call in, rather than just one type. So you can make money on both sides of that, and so you can just go out and find good solid payday keywords, not worrying about whether it's relief or payday loan. Auto and health insurance. Auto insurance has been a really strong vertical in pay-per-call for quite a long time. It's been a consistent winner. And health insurance, with the open enrollment coming up in the U.S., I believe that starts on November 15th. That's really created an opportunity. I just put a post in Affiliate Fix about that. John from our team is quite knowledgeable about the about the vertical, and really looking to capitalize on that opportunity. So there's about 3 months where you can really push health insurance and do quite well. And last year, the federal government in the U.S. actually extended the period, and I think it ran for more like 5 or 6 months. So that's a good opportunity, but especially somebody that's looking to try pay-per-call, you can kind of get in on something that's created a bit of a window of opportunity to try something that's kind of booming, and we know people are searching for that, so there's going to be a ton of opportunity there around health insurance. And Live Links is a consistent winner. It's been, I think it's the longest running campaign on our network. It is a lower payout, but it is definitely a high converter. and it's almost hard to lose on this campaign if you advertise on chat-related keywords, dating-related keywords, something in the realm of live links and dating or matchmaking. You're bound to see some success. Very, very low losses, and the clicks are fairly cheap. So it's a great campaign to start with. It's a great introductory campaign, and then we see a lot of publishers expand from there and really grow into other areas of pay-per-call as well. So those are some of the top campaigns. I'll take just a couple minutes to kind of talk about landing pages. They are a little bit different, and there's some techniques you can really use to be successful with pay-per-call over some of the other types of campaigns. So you really want to create that call to action. You really want to emphasize that they're going to be calling and making sure that people are comfortable making that call, and you want to encourage them to take action there and motivate them. Give them a reason to call, and you can do things like say call only deals, or call now to speak to a representative, call now to find out about our deals, that sort of stuff that kind of piques their interest and gets them motivated to actually pick up the phone. The nice thing about click-to-call extensions is that it almost makes it too easy for people to call, so they call in quite easily. But with a desktop or print or a radio ad, you really need to create that urgency to pick up the phone. There's a bit of a barrier there between telling them a phone number and actually getting them to pick up their either landline or mobile phone and make that call. So you need to make sure you're motivating them. We've definitely heard some good feedback from our publishers that long forms actually drive calls. And so what you want to do is almost create a bit of a barrier towards getting people to fill out forms. And so they see a long form asking for some very specific information, sensitive information that would sort of distract them from wanting to fill out that form. And then you create the easy option of making a call. So we found that that's definitely a big driver of making people pick up the phone. So if they start to fill out the form and they find it's really difficult, or it's just too strict, it's a lot easier to just pick up the phone and make that connection. You can ask a question, you can get a live operator on the phone. So that's a good sort of trick to use on your landing pages to drive calls and motivate people to pick up the phone. We definitely encourage publishers to use their own landing pages. A lot of since you're driving calls specifically from the search results, publishers have been trying things where they're not actually using their own landing page. They get a better quality score when they throw up somebody else's landing page. And this is not something that we encourage. It can work, but it's not something that we like to see, because sometimes the advertiser, or the person that owns that page, isn't happy that you're advertising their page, or if Google makes recommendations for things that you need to change on that page, they may suspend your account, and then you're unable to make those changes, and you'll lose your Google account. So it's definitely worth taking some time to build your own landing page. It's not hard to write some basic content, or use a service like an Elance or a Crowd Content or one of the content providers to write up some content for you that will help your quality score, and that will save time. We definitely recommend using your own landing page and domain. Ring pools for tracking. I won't go into too much detail there, but ring pools basically creates a bucket of numbers that you can pull from and assign those numbers to a click, so you can get the click ID, the keyword data passed through, and that passes through to the reporting, so you can know which keywords, which placements, which click IDs actually drove conversions. So it's a really great tool, and I hope to talk about that a little bit more in a future webinar. And and you do need, in order to use ring pools, you do need to drive the click to your landing page. You can't use click-to-call extensions on Google to do that. Some really cool services. We use Unbounce for a lot of our landing pages. It just makes it really easy to do drag and drop landing pages and create those calls from the landing page, but we find it just really quick and easy to throw together a landing page and test out some campaigns. Easel is another one that you can use, drag and drop, a little more advanced than Unbounce, with some dynamic features that you can introduce to it. And then even WordPress, you can pull together a landing page pretty quickly. You can create a responsive website with a template or some of the plugins, and you can create a WordPress site that is a functional pay-per-call landing page. And I'll just show you some quick examples of some landing pages that we've made for some of our campaigns. So this is our tech support campaign. So you can see that we're really emphasizing call us now, and then we're using tell links to actually make that call. So if you click on this, it'll generate the call. And then we've created a mobile version of that as well. And then these pages are web integrated as well. So if a publisher wants to take this domain and promote it, they can then pre-pop their own phone number right in here and get credit for the calls that they drive in. So these are just some of the branded pages that we've made, and these are all built in Unbounce as well. So they're just some fairly simple landing pages, but again, the focus is on, we want people to notice that they can call. So that kind of covers landing pages, and then I've talked quite a bit about IVRs, so I want to make sure that everybody kind of understands that. So I won't take up too much time, but I'll kind of introduce you to IVRs, or from the affiliate side within Invoca, they're called call promotions. So what an IVR is an interactive voice response, but really what they are is recordings that answer the call and filter those calls to different areas. So like I said, 1 for sales, 2 for customer service. And so if you're doing click-to-call and you're doing Google AdWords extensions, those clicks from the search results are directly connecting to the IVR. So you need to think about your IVR being the landing page. So that's really the opportunity for you to bridge the gap. If you're operating in a niche category, say it's new car insurance within the car insurance vertical, now's your opportunity to use that IVR to say, yeah, you've called the right place. We deal with new cars. So you can press 1 to speak with a representative right away. So you can use them for a lot of different ways, and I will show you in Invoca how that works and give you a quick introductory into how call promotions work. There's multiple revenue streams, so like when we talked about the payday example or the legal example, you can bring the calls in from a generic category and then figure out how that IVR can monetize that call for you. You can also take that and potentially send back a text message, and there's a couple other options as well that I'll show you within the call promotions feature within Invoca. You can filter callers, so in a lot of cases, in order to kind of create leverage for yourself with an advertiser, you want to send really good quality calls in. So if you're sending good quality calls in, you can do that by filtering some of the calls, and in some cases, unfortunately, you do have to hang up on the user. So if they're unqualified, if they don't have $5,000 worth of debt, you want to filter those callers out, and hopefully be able to monetize them, but in some cases you're not. So you want to get those callers out of the way and not going through to the advertiser, and then you can go back and say, hey, I've sent 500 calls and I know they're all decent quality, am I able to get a pay bump or something? You can talk to your affiliate manager about that. You can also rotate campaigns, so this is a chance to pick a couple campaigns and rotate through them and see which one performs better. So if you've got 2 dating campaigns, you can say, how does this campaign do versus the other campaign? So it's a really cool opportunity to use those call promotions to better monetize your traffic and make sure that if a single click comes through, you're going to do your best to ensure that call turns into a conversion and some money in your pocket. So just quickly head back to, I'll head back to Invoca here, and I'm just going to quickly run through what a call promotion looks like. So from the main screen in Invoca, when you're logged in, you'll see this tab. You do have to ask for it, so it's not turned on in everybody's account. You have to ask your rep at any network to turn that feature on for you. But once you turn that feature on, then you can create your own call promotion. And what you're doing here is basically creating your own IVR. And like I said, this is your landing page if you're doing direct click to call from search results or from a banner. So this is your landing page. This is your chance to bridge the gap. This is your chance to make the caller feel comfortable with their experience. And so there's some really cool features in here. This is a pretty powerful tool. I don't see publishers using it as much as I would like to see, but I figure if I show the opportunity, someone's going to pick it up and do really well with it. So straight from the top, the call at the start of the call, we're just going to transfer it through. We're going to connect it with Empire Today. You can do something nice, and you can say something like, "Please wait while we connect your call to Empire Today. Please stay on the line," or you can record that yourself. And this is just your opportunity to kind of pre-sell the advertiser, or sorry, pre-sell the caller, get them excited about the campaign, and then when they make that connection to the actual advertiser, hopefully they're more likely to convert to a sale. You can select a transfer destination, so this allows you to try multiple campaigns. So you could try this Live Links campaign, versus this other one, versus another campaign that might be in here. So what you're able to do then is edit. Maybe I just want to weight these against each other. So I slide it over to the weighted, and then I choose, and I say, we'll give them each 10. And then you can adjust from there. And if none of those fit the criteria, then you're going to hang up. Or maybe I'll transfer the call and I'll send it to this provider. So something like that, right? So you can see there's a lot of options you can play around with. This IVR function, this call promotion function within Invoca, does a lot of smart things. So it actually checks to see if the campaign is outside of hours, over budget, or over the call cap, or outside the campaign's region. So it's going to check all those things before it considers it for a potential call. You can also try things like just choose best, pick the best campaign. Which campaign has the best payout, the best conversion information, or what's the most likely to convert. So it's going to take a lot of different variables into account, and then hopefully send that to the best campaign. So you could have multiple campaigns in here. And this one may end up getting chosen more than the others, but you've got extra coverage if it doesn't meet the criteria of this campaign. So it's a pretty cool feature again, and you can try almost a number of different things, and you can even layer in different things. So you can, if it doesn't fit one of these, we can offer them a text message, and you could say something like, we're sorry that we weren't able to help you at this time, but please press 9 now to receive a text message to get a dating app or a chat app to your phone. And then what you can do is put the message in here with a link to another campaign that you're promoting. We do just want to make sure that everybody's making sure that they're TCPA compliant and that we're not spamming people, but they are kind of opting in to receive these messages by pressing 9. So there's a lot of options there, and like I said, it's a cool feature. You can ask questions, press 1 for sales, 2 for customer support, or are you looking for a DUI lawyer? Press 1. Are you looking for a divorce lawyer? Press 2. And then you can just kind of go down and create a really cool chain of questions in order to best target your potential monetization levels. So you can verify the location, ask where they are, and then send it to the most appropriate offer in their area. Ask a series of questions, or check a condition. Are they a repeat caller? Okay, well, I don't want to send them to the campaign I just sent them to because I didn't get paid, or I won't get paid because it's a repeat caller. I'll send them somewhere else. Or is it a landline? How do I want that to behave? Or a number of different things. Press a certain key. So it's a really cool feature. I think I've said that too many times already, but I really like it, and I really hope that publishers take advantage of it and try it out and mess around with it. We did see some really good success with a publisher where we took different categories, different names of their ad group for like a tech support campaign. So we had printer issues, and what we would do is start out with a, thanks for calling the tech support line. Please hold for a printer expert in your area. And then connect them over. And we saw some really good results with that, where we would do printers, then we do Microsoft, then we do Mac issues or whatever it might be. So it really bridges the gap between the niche that you're promoting and then the end result campaign that you're pushing. So you can use that tool to really take advantage of better monetization. So that's call promotions. Hopefully that helps explain the opportunity that you can take advantage of. And exactly, you can monetize better with call promotions. I think it's one of the best tools that publishers could use to earn more from a single click or a single call. So that concludes the webinar today. I'm ready for questions if there's some ones there.
Amazing, Mike. Thank you very much. I'll let you catch your breath quickly. Some incredible information, really interesting. Especially the whole call promotions thing. I guess effectively what it's doing is kind of allowing you to pre-sell your kind of potential conversion as a kind of pre-sale lander would do, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly, and that's a great way. I like to say that the IVR is the landing page, and so you can do a good job to bridge the gap or get the caller excited. Get them ready to make that purchase.
Yeah, I guess in the future that will expand even more and kind of what we'll be doing with it, clever different things. So guys, make sure you get over to the Q&A and type in your questions. We're going to try and answer as many as we can as possible. We're gonna do some Q&A now. We've got a lot coming in. If we don't get to answer your question, guys, don't take offense. It's just that we can't be on here all night. We appreciate you all staying up so late wherever you are in the world. But what we will do is Mike's going to be active. He's already highly active on Affiliate Fix, and he's going to be in there over the weekend and next week checking all your questions. So you will get an answer. Make sure you post it in the paper call forum. We're having some questions coming in. Martin says, what criteria is used to check someone before they're accepted to promote pay-per-call offers? So I'm guessing what he's asking is, does your kind of network qualify affiliates like any other kind of network would?
Yeah, so because we like phone calls so much, we do like to speak with people on the phone. So we call every publisher that comes into the system, and we'll have a chat with them and make sure that they're up to date on what's compliant, what's allowed to be done, and what they can do, to kind of get started, and what their comfort level is, and sort of how educated they are on the space. But for specific offers, we really encourage publishers to add very specific, detailed descriptions about what they're going to do with this campaign, and let us know exactly how they're going to promote. And unfortunately, if publishers just apply and say, I want to run this offer, we do deny them because we need that specific information. We need to know what's happening with this campaign.
Yeah, I understand. Great. Next question. Stipe says, what's the minimum amount of money a starter with pay-per-call should have? I know this is the impossible question to ask, but you probably get asked quite often. I'm guessing he's saying if we're looking to get into pay-per-call, what sort of budget should we have set aside?
Yeah, and it's a pretty common question. Obviously, more is always better, but if you don't have $5,000 to $10,000, then you can start with about $500. I would really recommend going with something like LiveLinks or a campaign that's going to convert a lot, because if you spend $500 and you get $250 in revenue and 40 conversions, then you have some data to work with. If you spend $500 and you get one conversion on a campaign that pays $100, you don't really have specific details on knowing which keywords or which placements actually worked. So it definitely makes sense to work with a campaign that's got micro conversions to start with. There's less risk and there's a little more reward, and it does end up working out better. And you can make this work with a small budget. There's just not a lot of room for error, and unfortunately, with any affiliate campaign, you kind of have to fail to learn what works, or you have to spend a lot to learn what works.
Brilliant, nice answer. Matthew is someone who's seen one of your
Oh, I think that cut out. Hopefully everyone can still hear me. I think that it's still active. So I'm going to answer Matthew's question. He said he saw a recorded webinar by Ring Partner on AdWords targeting mobile and suggested to use a text ad there's a new option of phone calls only ad. The webinar was a few months old, and I'm not sure which option to use. Yeah, I mean, some of the webinars are definitely, we've done them for quite a while now, and so some of them are getting dated. But I'm not familiar with the phone calls only ad. It definitely seems like a really good option, and I'd like to look into it a little bit more. But when I'm setting up an AdWords campaign, usually what I'll do is I'll target specifically mobile traffic. I'll bid my mobile bid percent up by about 300%, and then what I'll do is target, like I said, mobile traffic, but I'll use the click-to-call extension, and then I'll uncheck the button, or sorry, I'll check the button that says phone calls only to make sure that those mobile clicks, when they click on the ad, whether they click on the headline or they click on the URL, what actually happens is it generates the call prompt. So I really want those calls to come through that click-to-call extension and connect with the phone call rather than hitting the landing page. And I don't know if that's what they mean by phone calls only ad, but that's something that is definitely worth targeting and worth focusing on. And I also know that Google recently introduced their landing page call tracking, so you can actually place a snippet of code on your landing page and have the phone number, the Google forwarding phone number show up on your landing page, kind of dynamically inserted on the page, and so you'd be able to track calls from your actual landing page as well as calls from the call extension. So that's kind of a cool feature. We're, like I said, we're in pay-per-call, so we're definitely focused on driving those calls. So when I say throw a form on the page, that's because I want people to connect to the call. I don't want them to fill out the form. So I'm pro phone calls only.
Awesome. Another quick question from Dave. He's saying, obviously you mentioned AdWords quite a lot, but he's asking what is the best traffic type and best traffic source for pay-per-call?
I would definitely say that Google AdWords is a great place to start. I'm a little more familiar with that. That's my background. I have more experience there. So I kind of lean towards that one, but mobile search is the big driver, and it's a good place for people to start. But if you have more experience with something like Bing, then you might want to try there as well. Or I see a lot of guys doing well with PPV, and if you're familiar with that, that's not been an area for me that I've done well in the past. But if you know PPV, that might do better for you.
Is there much pay-per-call on social?
Not a ton. What we do see happening on social, we're waiting for Facebook to hopefully integrate a click from the ad, like they have their download or install buttons. Hopefully they'll be able to integrate a call function. But what we do see quite often, and it's kind of surprising, is student loan debt doing really well on Facebook. I'm not sure why. I think it's probably just, there's a ton of people with student loan debt, and so it does work out.
I also think we obviously we do quite a lot of lead gen ourselves, and we run the kind of landing page company, and we see a lot of people now, like you say, doing kind of student loan and those kind of lead gen offers on social purely because they're pretty much compliant, so they can get away with running them.
Yeah.
Like you say, you can target right down to students are at where they're at, their age and stuff like that. So it's very kind of targeted where you can go with it.
Yeah, and so I would say for Facebook, if you're going to try something, try student loan. If you're going to do PPV, try tech support. If you're going to do like a mobile display campaign, you're going to need ring pools. But you can try a number of different things, but I think you should focus on generic stuff like education or psychics or live links. And if you're going to do search, just opens you up to a lot more potential campaigns you can do: auto insurance, health insurance, education, legal, live links, all those different categories. So it's just a little easier to promote a number of different categories.
Sure. Mel's just asked, can you recommend any course for beginners in pay-per-call? And that actually leads into me saying that Mike has actually dropped in arguably one of the best guides I've seen in a long time inside the dojo this week. So I just want to thank Mike for that personally. But I know that's a great place to get started. You literally broke down every kind of aspect of getting started in pay-per-call, and it's all very nicely laid out for people to kind of read. But yeah, if you remember the dojo, get in there now. It's in there. If not, join up. That'd be great. It'd be great to see you on the inside. But aside from that, Mike, what's the best place to get started? Obviously, our forums as well. You can ask questions.
Yeah, I usually, definitely getting in the forums is a great place. I mean, there's tons of people with tons of knowledge in there, and my guide really was to kind of educate people, and we feel responsible to educate people and present the opportunity, because I really find that publishers come up with some really crazy, wild ideas that work really well, and so if I can just show them the tools and sort of guide them in the right direction, they can take it and run from there. So hopefully that guide provides a lot of information. There's a few videos in there, some of them 15 minutes, some of them more like an hour. But you can check those out or listen to them.
Yeah, we can throw this in there as well, so that there'll be plenty of gold in there for people.
Yeah, the only real course that I've seen specific to pay-per-call is Premium 23, and that's Leonidas Kaplan, and he does a pretty good job of it. It's fairly reasonably priced as well, so you can check that one out too.
So definitely check that out, guys, and definitely check out the Guide in the Dojo. And like I say, Mike's going to be answering your questions on Affiliate Fix, hopefully for the months to come. He's already made a great impact on there. A few more questions, guys. Just type them in, and we'll try and get through them. There's a lot coming through. We've got a few more to ask. Jones says, "What's the typical payout on a pay-per-call offer?"
That's a really tough question to answer. I mean, the conversion duration is usually about 1 to 3 minutes, but payouts range from, we just put up a campaign that converts, and I think it pays out 50 cents. They'll convert really high, but they can be quite low, and then we've seen campaigns as high as $185 for a rehab call. So it's tough to say. I would say the range is probably around $10 to $20 for a 1 to 3 minute call.
Okay, that's good.
On average. So they're decent. What you will see is much higher conversion rates, especially from something like search. If people are searching for car insurance and they happen to click through, they're very likely to stay on the phone for more than 2 minutes.
Sure. I guess, yeah, like you say, they've rang that kind of number for a reason, haven't they? They're not they're not picking up the phone. They're already kind of pre-done what you want them to do, in effect.
Exactly.
Another question, which is actually from myself. We see. I'm interested to see what you would kind of say to this. We see a lot of clients in our landing page design company who kind of want to put a number now on their lead gen form or landing page or whatever it may be. Do you see more and more people kind of adding pay-per-call to their kind of current campaigns that are already running? If people are listening now and they've already got lead gen campaigns, or they've already got campaigns running, would you advise putting a pay-per-call option on the lander as well as their kind of current campaign, just so you've got that option?
Yeah, I think obviously I would definitely encourage them to do it. I don't think that we're seeing as many of the traditional advertisers in the affiliate space convert over to it. It's more advertisers that discover the performance space and they try pay-per-call first. So I would definitely like to see more and more advertisers give it a shot. But there is a bit of a shift in how you react to these leads. So you have to be prepared as an advertiser, to accept these calls. You have to have the capacity, the volume, to handle the volume, and then to be able to quickly qualify callers. So you want to route these calls to agents that understand that if you let this call last 2 minutes, you're going to pay out for it. Because we've listened to calls where people will call up and they are calling for car insurance, but they're looking for something specific, and the call agent actually helps them find some other insurance company, and you don't want to pay for that call as an advertiser. So there's a little bit of a process onboarding new advertisers and making sure they understand what they're in for pay-per-call. I would definitely, of course, encourage it and definitely try it. And as far as putting it on your landing page, the web integration setup is quite simple. It's just a snippet of code that actually replaces your number. Yeah. So it's quite easy to do, and again, I would definitely recommend that as well.
Awesome. Okay, keep the questions coming in, guys. We'll answer one or two more. Stipe's saying, how about 7Search traffic? Have you got anyone doing anything on 7Search display or people?
Yeah, I don't see a ton of people running 7Search traffic, but I know that obviously 7Search is encouraging it. They would like to see more and more people trying it. Yeah, my understanding is that they're
quite a lot, so
Yeah, I see more and more. I think that they're trying to get more mobile,
Yeah,
which is a smart move. So hopefully that will continue to expand because Seven Search has been around for a long time. I've seen it since my first days of trying search marketing years ago. So I assume they'll be a little more mobile soon, and I think that will help for PaperCut.
definitely. Excellent. Right, Mike. All I can say is thank you. We really appreciate your time tonight, and also thank you to all the listeners. I don't know where you are in the world. I know there's people all over the world and all different times. So for you to spare an hour or so, I hope you've got a lot from this. If you enjoyed the webinar, go ahead and share this, or you type in the Q&A that you enjoyed it. Just say yes. If you want us to run more, please get inside the pay-per-call forum on Affiliate Fix, contact Mike, you've got the details in front of you now, and we're going to basically hopefully do a part 2 of this probably in the coming months where we go a bit more into detail about how to set up your first campaigns, how to set up tracking, and these sort of cool promotions as Mike explained just then. So if you enjoyed this, say yes. We really appreciate your time, and thanks once again, Mike. How do we get in contact with you if we need to?
Yeah, thanks a lot for doing this as well. It's always fun to kind of introduce this to a new audience and see what kind of questions and stuff they come up with. So thanks for doing that. If you want to contact me specifically, probably the best way is Skype. Just add Ring Partner Mike, and it's the easiest way to kind of chat with me and ask specific questions. But you can always email me at mike@ringpartner.com. And like I said before, we're a call company, so we do enjoy phone calls. You can call our office, which is 1-888-656-3726, and my extension is 209 if you want to reach me.
Awesome, Mike. It's been a pleasure. Thanks again.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, guys. We'll call it a night now. We're going to throw this webinar replay up on the Fix blog, and I'll be emailing it out to you all as well. And then it will be archived inside the dojo along with that amazing guide from Mike. I appreciate all your time, and have a good night. Cheers, guys.